What's good, YouTube? We're over here near the wool farm from last episode, and now we're farming chorus fruits. So, someone who plays here told me that they wanted some purple blocks, and purple blocks come from these guys, the chorus fruit. Not the raw chorus fruit, you have to cook them. So, I made this farm, and it's almost done. It's like 90% done. 95% done, maybe even more. But the way this farm works is player sits in the minecart and they go down planting chorus. But before they go, we blow up all the old chorus fruit, just the top canopy, because it turns out that when the flowers are in a TNT explosion, it'll drop the flower. Anyways, so I've got one thing left to do, and it's put to buy the coral fans in TNT for all of these dupers. So I kind of, I'm running really low on coral fans, and I need a lot of coral fans. So, I've got a little mini farm that I'm going to make to fix that problem. And I've actually already gathered all that I need, except for some bone meal. So let's go to the nether, because we're going to get some bones. And then we're going to go to a coral reef and make a little farm for some coral fans. So here we are at our personal spawn. Ah! Well, that's all junk anyways. I just pretty much wear this all over the place because Endermen are annoying. There's the shulker farm over there. Anyways, let's stay on task. We're going to the nether. And we've got to make it to the Wither Skull farm, which is 420 blocks that way. Hey, 420 blaze it. Here we are at the Wither Skull farm. It's decently productive. If you watch the World Tour video that I published for the March World Tour, then you've already seen this, but just zip in here really briefly and swipe a few skellies. You get the idea. Okay, now down to the storage room. Here we are. And there's the bones. Activate the lever to get to the bulk storage. And let's go ahead and I don't know where this button came from, but I'm not going to bring that with me. We'll take 4, 5 full shulkers of bones. 6? Surely that's enough. That should be able to provide us with fans for a while. Okay. Let's get up out of here. We're going to the roof. On the roof. 1,300 blocks that way. That's the initial portal that I made. It was a little bit overshot. Okay, here we are. I already made a platform. It's raining. Is there a village nearby? Yes, okay. We're gonna steal a bed. Because we didn't bring a bed with us. Don't mind me, I'm just a flying, pumpkin-headed, gentleman. See, I'm wearing a suit. I am a gentleman. That's That's what gentlemen do. They come in the night and they exchange your bed for a stack of smooth stone. Okay, now where was I? Ah, yes. Probably that off-colored pixel on my map. Definitely that is the little glass platform that I made. So let's head back over that way. There's our portal. There's our workspace. It's not even raining anymore, of course. Oh, it is raining. It just wasn't raining in the... It's not raining in the desert, but it is raining in the... That's wonky. Oh, oh, oh! There you go. That's my little local respawn point. And let's lay down everything we're going to be working with here. There we go. Now we got a nice little palette. That didn't take long at all, did it? Okay. So let me go ahead and swap windows real quick. And then we'll talk about this just a little bit on my single player map. Okay. So here we are in single player. And what we want to make is a dead coral fan farm. Because this guy said, Desmond, can you make a dead coral fan farm? And I said, why don't you make a live coral fan farm? I guarantee it'll be faster. But that wasn't the point. The point was the challenge of the dead coral fan farm. And for that, I do have to thank him, because I had a lot of fun designing this. So, we can get rid of our friend here for now. Let's think about the challenges that we need to consider. So first of all, if you bone meal any surface, not just sand, any underwater surface inside of a full water source, inside of the biome, then it'll grow various aquatic vegetation, mostly seagrass. Okay? Now, however, if the game doesn't have a full solid block to plant seagrass on, then it will never choose to plant seagrass. It will always plant a fan on the wall. Okay? And not just on any wall. It always puts it on the south face. Okay? So we're facing north. Well, now we're facing north. It always puts it on the... Now we're facing south. Okay. Excuse me. It puts it on the north face. The point is it reliably has the same behavior, right? So here we have the dispenser set up in 4 different directions, and it's always the north wall. So right now I'm facing south, so that would mean I'm looking at the north face of this block, the part of the block that is facing north. These fans always grow on the north side of the block, okay? So when we're building our machine, that means that the machine is going to be directional. Okay, so that's one thing that we've got to consider. I'm not going to talk about these designs too much in depth, especially not this one, because that's the first version and this is the newer version. But rather than talk about the design in depth too much, I'm going to go ahead and swap windows again, and we're going to build this up in survival. So if you want to build it up, then you'll be able to do so. So then let me get a little bit of all my palette. I'm going to use smooth quartz for my build block. I'm going to use white stained glass. Should be plenty. Okay, cool. Here's our white stained glass. Here's our smooth quartz blocks. We make a couple of smooth quartz stairs and a couple of smooth quartz slabs. Alright, looks good. Now we're going to need a little bit of all the different types of redstone, yeah? So, pistons, sticky pistons, droppers, dispensers, observers, slime blocks. I've already got chests in inventory. I've already got dust and observers and already dust and repeaters and comparators, so we're good on that front. I don't actually think I'm going to need a hopper right away, so we'll go ahead and leave that be on that front for a second. Okay, so again, this thing has to be built such that when I'm facing south, I'm looking at the wall of the unit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fly up a couple blocks. Doesn't really have to be a specific amount. I just want there to be a good amount of room to build a queue underneath the machine. I guess it has to be at least 12 blocks, so let's just make sure that it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that is at least 12 blocks. It is certainly more than 12, it seems. So I'm just trying to orient myself right now, so I'm kind of building a little bit in an illogical order, just to make sure that everything is spaced properly. And we'll go ahead and talk more about what I'm doing as I get closer. But I'm also going to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys a much easier farm as well, if you don't mind farming live coral fans at the end of this episode that I think you might be interested in. So hold on tight for that as well. Alright. So over here, what I've got is a structure. This structure is going to kind of resemble an etho hopper clock, but that's not. It's not really what it is. Like as you see me building it, you're going to be like, "Oh, I know that." Okay, so here's where we're completely departing from the etho hopper clock. It just kind of has that sort of same shape. That's literally the only thing in common. Okay. This is not even the timekeeper. This is just the activation trigger for the device. What's happening here is right above this redstone block is going to be our dispenser with the bone meal. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Go ahead and make sure that we have a dispenser. And we want it facing this way. And then behind it, I go chest, chest. And go ahead and get us a hopper. And this is where our bone meal will go. Alright, we'll go ahead and fill that up properly after we can clear out our inventory because we finished the build. Okay, so this only works if it can grow in an environment with water. So let's go ahead and here we're putting this slab here because we want a non-full block underneath the water source here. So that way it forces the game to grow a coral fan and not some other type of coral, okay? And then right now with the coral with the redstone block there, it is actually going to be in the between growth cycles phase. These are too high. Yeah, these pistons go there and there. So then when they retract, there's room for the water. Okay. Then I have a stair there. Stair there. Let's go glass block. Block on each side. Water. Okay. And then over here, we're also going to need a dispenser. For this non-full block, we're actually going to have to use a hopper because we're observing that. I thought I might change my design to a slab because that would be, strictly speaking, more lag friendly, but I forgot that I was using the hopper to trigger part of the circuit. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch that hopper and we're going to carry that up into the dispenser. So when the hopper changes state from powered to unpowered or from unpowered to powered is when we're going to be pulling the water source here. So right now there should be a full water bucket in the dispenser. So we're going to go ahead and put that in there and we're going to leave this area empty because this should be in the dry phase. Basically that's what this is right now, dry phase. We're going to go ahead and add some glass right here Because when these glass go down, okay, the water's going to flow in like that. So we need to contain that. So there's that so far. So far, so good. And now we need to do the pushy pushy. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to, excuse this flapping, pull the coral fan out of the space, and then we're going to push it forward. And the whole reason why this dispenser is necessary at all is actually the live coral fans cannot be pushed with redstone. They break. But the dead coral fans can be pushed and pulled with redstone. So we have to dry the fans at this stage, not after we pull them out of the water. If they could dry after we pulled out of the water, that would simplify the farm a lot. But unfortunately, that is not possible. So over here, what we have is this torch right here is going to go ahead and basically tell the farm when when we switch to the wet state, this will power on. Not even actually when we switch to the wet state. Yeah. When we switch to the wet state before I'm having trouble explaining this even though this is my design. I really need to work on my vocabulary, my redstone lexicon. Because I feel like what I'm missing right now is the proper linguistic tool to describe what I'm doing. So let me just go ahead and keep building because we're actually pretty far along. And then I'll be able to show you better. So let me simulate a change of state by we break that. So now we've entered the wet state. So what happened there? These got pulled down. And when this one got triggered, we'll go ahead and trigger the observer again. That's what happens. This sticky piston pulls up, and then that one. Okay, so that is what's happening. At the start of the wet state, we're pulling the fan that died, because you can actually re-waterlog the dead fan, and it doesn't bring it to life. So we're pulling the dead fan out of the water after we return the water, and then later we see that the fan grows before the water's retracted. In the same game tick, actually, the fan grows and the water's retracted, I believe, because the conditions for the fan to grow are proper in the previous game tick that's allowed. And then when we swap the state of the farm again, I'm going to need one more block there so you can really see it in action. Struggling to reach that one. Did I get it? Nice. Okay. There we go. Okay. So we're going to need a couple, because if the fans get pushed off the edge of a block, they don't drop in item form. They just vanish. They are going to have to be silk touched by a player in the end. So we swap states, and there's where the fan goes. You see? So this is actually already the operational farm. Just not very convenient to place and replace the redstone block, right? Oh, looks like we had a little misfire there. That's probably my fault for manually triggering the farm. Shouldn't be doing that. Alright, so let me think. We've got glass up, so this is dry state. So there should be a full water bucket in there. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Let's go ahead and we'll add the hopper clock that we're gonna be using to the back here. This is just a simple etho hopper clock. So this is an etho hopper clock, unlike the other portion of the farm that just looks like an etho hopper clock. We'll go ahead and put some non-spawnable blocks on top. And gonna make a few composters to put on top of the hoppers. We're only gonna be needing 2 of these. Composter, composter. Okay. And now we just need some items in the clock, which I believe I was using only 12 items actually. Okay. Oh, we got a problem. There we go. Gonna need a little bit more time on it. And they're dying over there. But we're not quite done with the machine, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add some storage space for fans. Not quite that much. And over here, I have an observer hooked up to a little bit of a T flip-flop here. So that way only every other time that the observer observes a little pulse is it actually gonna send a signal to push down. And we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How wide do you think we should go? The player can only reach like 4 wide, but this is all temporary storage anyways. maybe 5. Whatever. And I'm going to need a couple rails. I'm going to observe all the rails. And then here's where our regular pistons come in. Okay. Now we just need to provide a surface for these guys to be pushed onto. That's 4 tall. Push limit is 12, so we can only go 12 tall. There's layer 8, layer 9, layer 10, layer 11, and that's layer 12. And I think I can do a 13th layer because the 13 down layer, it's actually only pushing, it's still only pushing 12 blocks, and the 1 extra block is the block space that the piston head takes up during the actual pushing action. And the last thing we need is just a little off switch that is going to tell the farm that it's time to turn off when the wall is full. So we're going to carry a little signal back over here, and we're going to have a different kind of little T flip-flop here. Same principle basically as that guy, just tall. And when this is extended, basically, the block will be in the way. We'll go ahead and get a little light source. Let's see the lantern. Gonna want one of those. Go ahead and put that right there. Okay, cool. Let me skip night again. But it looks like farm should basically be done. But while we're waiting for that to finish, let me go ahead and make another farm. This is the farm. So this whole farm is really cool, and this is a dead coral fan farm. So this gentleman should be happy if he can see. Well, he can't, obviously, because he's a bot. There we go. So, I gotta say, thank you for giving me the idea. My client switched me to the sword, and I fucking swiped him. But, thanks for the idea, Moist Goblin. Much appreciated. This was very fun to design. And now I do have my dead coral fan farm. And of course, all I gotta do to get one of these fans out of the farm is just mine it up with Silk Touch. But let's take a look at another version of the farm that we could build that might be a little bit smarter. Okay, where do I want to put this one? I know, we'll put it directly into here. So here we'll have that. And this guy's going to also need bone meal. We'll go ahead and so you put your bone meal in here. All right. And I'm going to need some water. That's it. That's the whole farm. So all I need is a silk touch. Let me go ahead and... Okay, that's the whole farm. So this one does produce live coral fans, not dead fans. But the difference in build complexity, I think, is pretty substantial. And I would argue that the live fan is actually more useful than the dead fan. Because if you wanted live fans for some reason, for decoration purposes, like for a fish tank or something, then you would have them. Oh, I mined through the hopper. Oh yeah, it's called speed mine. Go ahead and turn that off. Oh yeah. Now I've got to find the lever. Wonderful. Did it end up in my inventory? Nope. There it is. Okay. Well then. I suppose this should supply me with fans. I only need about 4 stacks total of fans. And I mean, that's about a stack of fans sitting right there. Are we out of sync here? No, I just need to add more delay to this guy. 12 items isn't quite enough. Let's make it 14 items. Okay. And it doesn't actually successfully grow a fan every single cycle, just most cycles. Okay, there we go. Well, while I'm waiting for it to make a full wall of fans, let's just go ahead and mine a few fans and see which farm does better. I think you can already tell. Just out of curiosity, if I add some more water, oh, Does it actually grow fans on the second level too? No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, it does! It does! Pog. As I'm sure you can tell, not having to wait for a full dry cycle between fans drastically increases your output. So, if you wanted to supply a server with fans, either a tech server or even an economy server like Hermitcraft or whatever SMP you might play on, I definitely think that this farm down here is the one that you want to build. But if you're interested in academic challenges and you want to directly farm the dead coral fans, or if for some reason this just appeals to you more, having like a waiting wall of dead coral fans. And now that I've built this, I'm not going to take it apart, so that means that anytime I come here to generate live fans, I'll also have a dead fan farm running in the background, at least until it produces the full set. Here it's about to turn itself off in 4 more cycles, so let me go ahead and skip the night and then we'll see it do that. That's okay, he can have that. Need more bones. And there it goes. It did turn itself off. So this fan made it there. Now this slime block structure got pushed up and it has suspended the clock. And here we went with 5 wide, so 5 by 12, that is 60 assorted dead coral fans right there in storage, plus an additional 4 right here. So that's actually exactly a stack of assorted dead coral fans. So here we have a farm right here that you can build, and it will hold in block storage for you 64 dead coral fans, which was inspired by Moist Goblin. He didn't design it, I designed it, but I never would have even attempted this if he didn't insist that I should. And I had a lot of fun making it. And here is the actual way that you probably should farm coral fans if you're just interested in having a lot of coral fans. So let me just keep going until I've got about 5 or 6 stacks at least. And then I'll go back to the chorus farm. I think that'll end this recording, and I'll end up having to make a separate episode for finishing the chorus farm. Thanks for watching SmoothTech episode 5, everyone. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And next episode, we'll take a closer look at this chorus farm that I'm placing all these TNT and fans on right now as we close out.